All right, guys, let's go. Episode 99. Man, we are very, very close to that 100. And we got some good things planned. You know, a lot of it just came about in the last several hours, but it's going to be a good one. So you're not going to want to miss this. But this is Small Talk, joined by Badfish and Chris, as
Hey,
always, guys.
Yo.
And it's felt, for at least for me, it's felt a little bit longer than 2 weeks. But what have you guys been up to?
oh man, we had some cool stuff. We had Fan Expo Toronto. I got some stuff there in my new pickups, and yeah, I mean that really that's a highlight of the year for me. So it'll be cool to talk about that a little bit.
Geez, not much beyond my kid being sick, like a lot, basically. Not like very sick, just like it went from like a fever, cold to a fever to like a light rash, which was like just a heat rash. So nothing major, but it was a lot of just
Real
up
stuff.
and downs. But he's back to himself
Yeah.
the last like 5 days, so getting back to normal again.
Man, you know, my youngest son is 3 now, and both of them sick, ear infections. Then they're good for about a week, and then a sinus infection, and then you know they I think one of them got rota like twice or something like that, or and then one other one, but it's better it happens now because when they go to school they're gonna be troopers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we had
So
2 birthday parties too. The one I think that's what did it. So.
yeah. Well, we went back to work about 3 weeks ago now, and last week was our first week back, and it was fun. Like lots and lots of new kids. We've always teetered around about 650 kids at our elementary to start the year, right? And about mid-year to the end of the year, we're somewhere around 700 to 710 kids, right? We opened this year at 733 kids. And I'm in the gym and I'm just like, dang, man, like something feels different about this year. And like I'm looking at the class and I'm like, I see lots of new faces. And then I start counting. My biggest class has like 56 kids in it in
Holy,
this
that's a lot.
decently sized gym, but it's still pretty small for everybody and stuff. And I had to ask my Peems clerk, the lady who does all the attendance and stuff, I go, at what point do you get me like a paraprofessional or an aide or something like that? And she goes, I've been told it's 750. And I'm like, the difference between 730 and 750, while it's still a lot, it's not a big difference. I'm dying now, you know? And then I
Damn.
immediately texted my director. I was like, hey, can you please find me out if when
What
I
was
can
it?
get this?
738, you said?
733.
Oh, okay. So you're even closer. There you go. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's nuts. It's a
So,
bit. That's huge. Class 56.
but yeah. And then, of course, COVID's in full swing at our school and stuff.
Nice.
We got teachers getting COVID and all kinds of illnesses and stuff. There is a school district somewhere out here in Texas that had to shut down already, and that was like 2 weeks ago because of a bunch of cases. And then there was another school somewhere else, I think on the East Coast. But so we're dealing with all that kind of stuff. Our STEM teacher, she got it, and just kind of helping each other out where we can. But other than that, we got a really good show for you guys. Lots of fun stuff and lots of new news, not just
Yeah,
in
man.
toys, but also for the network and for us, right? So
Hell yeah.
let's jump straight into it. So remember, we want to get you guys on that 3,000 subscriber giveaway. We are 10 people away, guys.
You're real
we
close.
can
Yeah.
we can do this. We can do this. And you have the opportunity to win this awesome carnage. And if you're just joining us, go go like Collecting Weekly Auxiliary, go subscribe to the YouTube page. And then this one's really important. This is just the bare minimum that you have to do with those two things. Go join Collector's Own Cantina. That will give you one entry into our giveaway. But if you're interested in bonus giveaways, you need to go to 16 Fix on YouTube. That's Marco's channel if you've been following us for a while. And then also the Ben Thomas Show. Go follow both of those guys, and you will get an entry each. And it looked, Badfish, you gonna drop that? Is that you? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So there's the short link, guys. Go ahead and do that. And at some point, guys, kind of remind me more mid-show this time. Let's do a bonus code to get us there. And then big news: Small Talk has their own Instagram. Small Talk has their own Instagram, guys. So if you remembered the old Clips Instagram that used to be kind of ran by John, doing the kind of the funny shorts and stuff like that. All that content's still on there, but Small Talk was able to revamp it for us too. So go check out the at Small Talk CW on Instagram. Here's the rules: subscribe to Collecting Weekly on YouTube, follow the Small Talk CW on Instagram, comment on the Instagram giveaway, and you can win one of these cool figures. One donated by Zach, and then the other one donated by Chris. Man, we really appreciate that. That droids it brings back so many memories.
Yeah, man.
Just as a casual Star Wars fan, I still remember seeing this.
Yeah, it's a fun recolor of the 2013 Boba Fett, but don't tell anybody. They're really getting their money's worth out of that guy. But it's a lovely presentation style, and like Sean was saying, the Instagram's new. You can go over there, and part of the requirements to enter is that you comment on the giveaway post over on Instagram. That QR code will get you there, and the post is up now.
So Chris, you've been managing this for us mostly. I'm going to be honest. I'm a fake fan. I have not logged in yet.
Wow.
I know.
SMH.
What do you want to see happen on this? We're going to be posting stuff, but what can the community expect?
Well, the main thing is that we're going to be able to share some of our new pickups on there. If we do a little toy photography like I do once in a while with the new pickups, we will share that there. And also you can see like any news related items that we cover on the show. And, a lot of people I did get a few messages that people were concerned that the old clips were going to go away, and those are all still there and they're not going anywhere.
All right. Preserving the old in with the new, though. And then also next week, OFAC is on their 100th episode. Did either of you guys catch the details on this giveaway yet? Or is it just something they're doing on the show?
I believe they're just doing a live giveaway on the show. I listened to it literally on Friday, and I've already forgotten what they said about it.
But guys, if you want to win this awesome SH
you
Figuarts,
have to tune in live, though. I believe.
Yeah, you have to be in live. But go watch their show next Thursday. Go support them. I know for me, it's kind of an odd time. I'll be right in the middle. Of classes that day.
September 7th,
I always get the notification, and I'm like, dang, man, I wish I could just sit here and watch this guy. Because, man, they're awesome. They're funny as hell, and they do a lot of great work. But let's see. Let's jump straight into vintage talk. So you were at a con.
Shout out the chat real quick, guys.
Oh, you're right. My fault. I'm just all excited about today's show.
Yeah,
we do have Toy Mafia. Sorry, let me choose that real quick. Okay. Toy Mafia, Bob Dylan, Big Ol' Fern, Absolute Irwin, and Little Titan. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you guys. But Chris, you were at a convention just recently.
Yeah, it was Fan Expo Toronto, and I should have taken more photos, but it was cool that they had the some props from Ahsoka on display, which I think they have the same setup at SDCC. Maybe some of you guys in the chat or later on, you guys can let me know. But They had this horrifying Loth cat that I got a real ultra close up of its face, and you can see its human molars in there. Just terrifying stuff.
I
And then,
love these things, as
yeah,
creepy as they are.
yeah. Well, I mean, I will say like it had a couple appearances on The Mandalorian where it was full CGI and it looked a whole lot worse than this. So like props to them for like actually doing a sort of hybrid approach and using a puppet for like some of the close-ups and stuff. And then they had the like some version of Chopper that they used on the show, and I think he's probably like one of the weirdest translations to live action for me because he just looks like so identical to how he did in the cartoon that it's like you almost question the design. It's like, is this really a live action interpretation? It almost feels like his head is sort of like popping off on angles and stuff, just like in the cartoon. And I don't know, it might actually be doing that. I don't know. I gotta watch the show again and find out. But it was cool to see this stuff.
It is almost identical. Yeah, I mean, I've got the 6-inch version, and it's pretty dang close. It's got like the little bolts on the front, like the little extra pieces of metal.
Yeah, and I mean I guess that was not supposed to be quite animated style anyway, but I would expect it's pretty close to that. I think
The
that's
orange pops too. I love that.
Yes.
Orange.
Yeah, it looks so good.
It's cool to see in person.
It
yeah,
looks
for
kind of oily, and it looks kind of I like the panel linings, like in the like his eyes.
Yeah, man.
Cool. We got John the Bat Everyday Collector. That's my name for him. I'm gonna change it. John the Bat Everyday Collector. And what's going on here? I see a couple other things.
Yeah, they had a Sabine helmet from the show, which I think there is a role play Black Series version of that coming out, but it might be a year until you see it. And they had a few of the saber hilts.
Some close-ups there. I love that helmet. Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that really struck me was like the Sabine helmet seemed like really small, which is even funnier when you think about the TVC one where it's like blatantly oversized. Yeah. So like it seemed like amazing the human head could fit in there, but it's not a lot of breathing room. I wonder how the supposed in-universe airlock seal works on that. They always have that sound effect when they take the helmets on and off in the new shows, and it's like there's clearly nothing. There's clearly nothing on the bottom, but they throw that sound in there for some reason, as if they could just step out into outer space while wearing that night helmet. Mm-hmm. But what are you gonna do?
I was gonna mention something, but it's a minor spoiler, so I won't.
Yeah, and I guess that's Ahsoka's hilts. It must be. Yeah, we'll go with that
for sure. 100%. These are.
How accurate are these to like what we've seen in like Clone Wars and all those other movies?
Well, she has different ones in Clone Wars. I think these are the same ones you would have seen in Mandalorian season 2. The one thing I really noticed looking at these though is that like when you see the actual screen use stuff, you really appreciate that it like the handmade aspect of it is like really clear. Like when you look at this up close, like it does not look like metal at all. Like it just looks like hand carved almost. Like the lines aren't perfect up close, and it makes you realize that like the stuff being made for the consumer like sort of fan market is actually like more industrially produced. Like so if you look at a saber hilt that like one of the Disney parks saber hilts, in some ways it probably looks a little more refined design wise than many of the screen used ones have been. But it's just an interesting observation that is sort of persisting to this day with these sort of one-off hero props.
She had different sabers that weren't white before those. They were green.
They're in Clone Wars they're blue. She has 2 blue ones, but I think it's the same hilts.
No, they are different hilts. I was just Googling it here.
Oh yeah, I mean like I think she changed the color of them. But anyways, it's definitely different hilts, and they're blue in Clone Wars season 7. But yeah, it changes earlier than that as well.
So I'm horrible with spoilers myself because I've told you guys this before. I don't believe in them. But I have a question. So I've always liked the idea of the white beams.
Yeah.
How does she get that?
Oh geez.
If it doesn't
I guess
spoil.
No, it's not. It's not in the show. I think if I remember correctly, that is covered in the Ahsoka novel, which was slightly retreaded by Tales of the Jedi. But
Mhm.
if you watch Tales of the Jedi, the little animated shorts, there's one where Ahsoka fights and kills an Inquisitor, and I think in the book, the idea is that she took the kyber crystals from that Inquisitor and somehow purified them so they weren't red anymore, and that's the crystals that are in the saber she's currently using. But yeah, it's from a book. Yeah,
Nice. Very
partially in
nice.
Tales of the Jedi.
All right. So before we jump into the new pickups for this week, guys, we have a problem. Not just 99 of them, but we have some problems. Not we have some collecting problems, right? So the discussion topic for today: what are your collecting problems? Is it you buy too much and don't have enough room? Is it you just purchase it without even thinking about it? Too many pre-orders, too many layaways, guys. What's going on?
Well, I guess I'll go first just because like I've definitely slowed down like a whole lot compared to like 2 years ago, and part of that is because I got a home office. That's my collection room. It's not getting any bigger anytime soon, so
Mm-hmm.
it's been helpful to sort of try and sort of stay focused on as far as what I'm mostly displaying being the sort of vintage Kenner Star Wars stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not none of that is coming out new. But then the stuff that's growing is like that Jazzwares Halo line and the Micro Galaxy Squadron, and honestly, I love both those things. There's not really anywhere I have to display them, and I should probably just chill. But they're so cool. What can you do?
Some of those actually at GameStop the other day. I forget which vehicles it was, but they were still there.
Yeah, some new ones came out for the Micro Galaxy Squadron, at least in my area, and got some in my new pickups.
What about you, Badfish?
Jeez, number one has. I mean, I've got a list of a few things, but you named a few there, but one absolutely 100% would be space. So because of that, I've learned to focus a bit more, um, a bit. But generally, I'm buying a lot less small stuff. I generally prefer to get hot toys, and kind of like I've got a like a Jedi Return of the Jedi Luke. I've got like these versions of these characters that I don't necessarily have to get a new one. I could maybe there are some old paint apps on some of them with the new updated face tech, but like any of the like I have all the Rebels. I could buy different versions of them or get these new ones from Ahsoka, but I don't think I'd do that. So just trying to be more picky, but definitely I would say the other thing probably right behind that would be the number of pre-orders is a lot. It's just as Chris likes to put it, what a time to be alive. But yeah,
Yeah, well,
there's just too much that I want. But yeah,
yeah. Luckily, they once in a while Hot Toys make something like the Praetorian Guard that's just so uncool that it's okay and you can pass on it. But
yeah, that's a pass
yeah,
for me for sure.
yeah. But it is tough because like especially if you're sort of like I don't know with the Star Wars stuff like when it comes to things like store displays, for example, like some of them are just massive, but they're so funny that they're like undeniable. And if I see one for sale, I just have to like get it. And if it ends up in a flat file, like whatever, like yeah, like I have some silly stuff like in 1999 there was like a Pepsi machine for episode 1. I have the front insert for one of those Pepsi machines.
Oh, okay,
No
yeah,
one
I
should
remember
no one
those.
should own that. No one should own that.
I remember people used to have the cans like above their bed on a shelf, like so
Yeah.
many people did that, or like on their
Yeah.
bookcase.
Yeah, this is like a 6 foot like insert designed to be backlit of like Anakin and Sebulba and a Pepsi bottle. Like, it's something like, but because I saw it and because the guy was just like, just get this away from me and like take it. And I'm just like, it wasn't that expensive. It's just so funny. And it's just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. My goal is to like find somebody who has a machine that would fit it, and I'll just like give it to them if they'll put it in the machine in a public place. That would
That'd be
be
That'd be
cool.
cool.
that'd be legit.
Or
Yeah.
buy yourself
Open
a
like a
vending
retro
machine.
shop or something.
You know those.
Yeah.
Get those follow those videos on YouTube that show you how to do it.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have somewhere to put that. That's a bigger problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So I opened the floodgates and I asked my wife, and I was like, "What are my collecting problems? Tell me." And she literally just goes, and I could see everything working in her head, right? I go, "Listen, I only need like 3, okay? Give me like 3 things. What's up, Mark? How's it going?"
She's like, I've been waiting for this moment.
She's exactly, and like I was telling you guys backstage, I've always wanted to do the significant other episode, just to kind of get their perspective on it. But she said, one, this is probably like number 3. You'll go and buy a statue that you have no room for, and just let it sit there and figure out where you put it. Which, and granted, I have not bought a statue in a very long time, a very, very long time. But it's kind of right when COVID was locking everything down, and a lot of the in-game stuff was coming out. A lot of cool statues, like cosmic statues, were coming out. I'm a big cosmic fan.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I had a whole list of like hot toys, statues, and I needed to narrow it down to like 5 or 6 things, right? Because at the time I had the money. And she goes, you'll buy the statue, let it sit there, and figure out where it goes later. She said the other one is one of the requirements for the new house was that you had a dedicated space, that you no longer have space for anything else in. So when COVID hit, we were probably at the pinnacle of the height of our old house being valued really well on the market right before everything kind of hit and got crazy and stuff. And I was telling her, like, we need to sell, we need to sell, we need to sell. Also thinking in the back of my head, I need a bigger figure room, or what I call the media room, because it is for the family. The kids come up here and play the PlayStation, and we'll come up here and watch movies. But I digress on that one, because I would have named it something completely different if it was just for me, right?
The media room is a trick. Calling
Yeah.
it the media room is inherently deceptive.
I still have this grand idea. I have like French doors, right? No windows, but they're like French doors. They open up like out like this way. I guess that's what they are, right? I still want to block the door with a hidden entrance, like a bookcase or something like that. Have a bunch of little like relics and have to switch them around and put them in the
Like
right
the Adam
spot.
West Batcave.
Yeah, exactly. And well, have you ever
That
seen
would be
Comic Book Men?
incredible.
Have y'all seen Comic Book Men?
No.
So
no.
it's Kevin Smith's
Oh,
podcast
yeah.
show that was on TV on A&E for a long time. And this guy was like, "Listen, I have this crap, what's Dark Knight, right? Dark Knight Bell, right? Christian Bell. Yeah, I have this
Okay.
Christian Bell Batman suit that I'm thinking about getting rid of, but I want you guys to come check out the house. I got this really cool room and stuff like that, right?" So they go into the room, or they go into the house, and there's a walkie-talkie there, and the guy's like, "Proceed down the hallway," and they're like, "Okay," and then they're like, "Turn right here," so they turn right, and they're like, "What the hell's going on?" And they're immediately like in this like man cave. There's a pool table, TVs, a bar, all this cool stuff, right? He goes, "Turn left," and there is the bookcase with the statue. They go press the button. They lift the head, press the statue, or press the button, and this door
funny.
opens. And that's exactly what I want.
Was
right
it
here.
a Shakespeare head?
It was a
right?
Shakespeare
Yeah,
head.
okay.
Well, and I'm actually giving a little too much detail. They just said, "I think I know what to do with this."
Wow.
Lift the head up, press the button, and it opens.
Nice.
And then he has this big old theater on the inside, which I don't have that, but I at least want to block this entrance here. But
That'd be cool. Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So she'll say that we bought this amazing house just for the media room, and then crap. Now I don't remember the other one, but the one that I was gonna pick is I'm a sucker for Yu-Gi-Oh. I have been buying Yu-Gi-Oh packs for the last several weeks, knowing that I have a horrible pull record. The cards I actually need aren't even in the packs that I've been buying. And I bought some cards this last weekend, spent like $20, $30, whatever. Nothing. And I'm just like, crap, man. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stick to singles. Luckily, there's some places I shop at online. They have some deals for Labor Day, and I might try to pick up the rest of the cards I need.
Yeah.
What's up, Michael? This is my best friend right here, Michael. Blackwing Gambling Full, absolutely, and it's 100% worth it.
Say the
But
packs that you bought that the 20 to 30 you spent, were those the correct ones? And you still
nope,
didn't hit? Oh,
nope.
those
I
are the
am
wrong
just a
ones.
sucker
Okay.
for. I'm just a sucker for opening packs.
That's
Like,
okay.
listen, there were certain cards that I wanted out of there because they were like high value. But
Yeah, yeah.
Michael, my friend here, he can tell you when we used to play back in the day, our pull record was horrible. We would go in and spend $100 on a box of cards, and pull shit. Half of the reason why we got out of the game, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And man, I've been playing this duel, what's it called? Master Duel on the phone and stuff, and I'm like on a 13 game winning streak, and it's bringing me back, man. I'm getting sucked in.
Oh, I
My
get it,
wife,
man. Ever since that Lord of the Rings Magic came out, I've been buying that stuff. Like, it's so brutal. Like, the One Ring card got pulled from like the same store I was buying from pre-release weekend. It was like so close, man.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
just
was
like
just watching an interview with Post Malone talks about it on Joe Rogan's
right.
podcast a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Just a little
great
clip.
hearing Magic getting discussed on the biggest podcast stage. But
Yeah, he was convincing Joe Rogan to play. I was like, that's never gonna happen. But it was so funny.
yeah.
He was like, how much he was talking it up. But it was like one of those clips on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I
way
mean, those
more.
but those packs that had the chance of the One Ring were like $50 here in Canada for one pack,
Shit,
15 cards. It was crazy. Like,
That's
I
yeah,
saw guys in line ahead of me just like they're sweating while they're like, "Oh, I'll take 4." It's like, damn.
$200
Yeah.
plus
done.
tax. Hey, that's
Yep.
actually one of my other things that one of the other problems I listed is price of things, especially here. I don't know if it's more of an international problem per se, but you guys have seen it, and we'll talk about some of the prices going down. Some of the Black Series have gotten a bit more reasonable, I think, in the States, but I don't know. But they've gone, I mean, they're somewhere usually anywhere from 35 to $40 here Canadian now for a single
Yeah.
figure. They
Like
might have
any
went down a little bit after they kind of milked us, but
Yeah,
I've
like
stopped
any
buying them
exclusive,
as well.
like any exclusive, even if it's a basic
Yep.
figure, like that Droids one was, I think that Droids one retail was like 44 or something at Toys R
Yeah,
Us.
44. Yeah,
Yeah,
So
crazy.
I remember the last one that my wife said.
yes.
She
Here we go.
goes, you want to buy doubles of a figure because it is worth money and you know you could make money on it, but you also want to keep one for yourself.
Well, it pays for the purchase, right?
Exactly, right? I'm giving your money back.
But you got to actually sell it to make it pay for the purchase. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
exactly.
That's the other thing.
Your return's
So
going
that's
to be
my
like a
problem
year
too.
out.
I'm looking at two some doubles of like some Black Series here. It's like, you know, what's the reason? Originally, this was when I first got into collecting again, and I've probably mentioned this at some point. I originally wanted to display one unboxed and then have the open version of it right in front of the boxed version. But yeah, that was now I'm
Extravagant.
just yeah, it's just insane. And with the number of them, it was I didn't think of how many would eventually come out either. But now it just makes sense to unbox them. I'm selling any boxed ones that I don't want to keep basically at this point.
Yeah. I used to kind of do both where I was like, I'd buy one for me and then I'd kind of have one for the shelf and stuff. And I just came to the realization of just like, not even the space issue of it, but it's just like, it's sitting there. I don't even have it displayed. Sometimes it was inside a closet and
Yep.
stuff. And I get the idea of like boxed collecting. And I feel like the appeal there is like, exactly like going into a store, you know, like the experience of going into a store and seeing your favorite toy, your favorite figure, your favorite whatever on the shelf and just being able to pull it off the shelf, you know? And
And there's definitely certain stuff being boxed. Like I still would
Look at
like
that.
some things boxed, you know.
That is some 43-year-old cardboard. Like, it doesn't get any more nerd than that.
How does it smell?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna ask. It's
It
like a
smells
comic
like
book.
yeah, exactly. It smells like the ages. It's great.
Does it have like a serious question? Does it have like the acidy smell of like old paper?
I think well, I think it's all down to how it was stored, right? Like
Right.
a lot of guys just didn't know what they were doing early on, and they didn't understand UV light and moisture.
Well, but even then, though,
That was gonna be
the
my next
type of
question for
material,
you.
that they used was not
Oh, it's thin.
appropriate.
Yeah, like the box. These are like modern. This one at least. Some are thicker, but this one's like a modern TVC box where it's like a millimeter.
It's thin, yeah.
No.
So do you have a humidity measure like that that you
Yeah.
monitor in that room?
Look at that. Yeah, no, listen. Some are worse than others, but like the craziest thing with that stuff is like the ones that there's a few like vintage Star Wars toys that involved like a foam insert, and like that stuff has turned to tar. like,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. But the cardboard holds up as long as it's dry. Yeah,
What's
All right,
that
guys.
ideal? What's that ideal? 50? Just 50%?
you got it. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Maybe a little less is better than a little more. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys. Let's jump straight into new pickups. For me, nothing. For the first time in months, in many, many, many shows, I have 0 pickups. But
I'm
you
proud
guys
of you.
found some couple stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know. I got lucky and rolled into a GameStop and found my second Chase Micro Galaxy Squadron, which is General Grievous's Starfighter, which probably had a cooler name before Disney changed it. They weren't brave enough to put on the weird in-universe name of it, which maybe it wasn't that memorable or I would know it. But it's interesting to me that General Grievous is a Chase. I don't know how they're going to reuse this mold, if at all, to sort of make a more general fighter, because the only time you see this in the movie, I think, is in episode 3 when General Grievous uses it. I know it was in the Battlefront games as like a playable vehicle, but I don't. Yeah, it's just crazy to me to see like a main character in his like primary vehicle as a chase, one of 15,000. Yeah,
That's
but
odd, yeah. It's cool
Kind of
looking though.
like the HasLab, right?
So this
yeah,
was
well,
the
I'm saying
soulless one.
as far as like the number goes.
yeah, well, I mean, oh yeah, as far as production numbers, like, yeah, exactly. That's insanely low for like a mass market like Star Wars toy product. Yeah. And then yeah, this other one is a V-wing starfighter, which is also I think only in episode 3 as far as the movies, and again playable in Battlefront. But yeah, that one I did open up, and it's got a it's these things are like, I don't know if it'll focus, but these things are really, this has no, I wish they came with stands because it's just such an odd shape. It's like,
Yeah.
cool, man. What do I do with that? But
It is
yeah,
a cool
no,
design though. But yeah,
yeah,
I agree with you.
yeah. And this is probably my favorite pickup this episode. Back in 1996 when Shadows of the Empire came out, which for the children, Shadows of the Empire was a multimedia event for Lucasfilm, because there was no movie, but there was everything else. There was a book, a game, a soundtrack, and an action figure line. And that action figure line did not have the primary antagonist vehicle, but it was made as a model kit, and that's what we have here. It's Prince Shizor's Virago, and I will probably try and find someone I can hire to paint and build it for me, because I want it to look like how it does on the side of the box, and I will not be doing that. It looks too good. Yeah, man. But this is cool. I forgot this existed. I was in an antique mall and saw it for a great price. And I mean, just look at that box art. That is just wild.
It
And
even comes with a stand.
yeah, the stand is part of the model there. And like, I mean, but look at the painting on there. And I think it looks like the autograph is upside down. So it might be that the guy either painted it upside down, or they flipped the art on him in the marketing department or something. So like, who knows even what the top of this ship is. It's not in a movie. This is its only appearance. Is like, I'm not even positive that it's in the game. So like, it's just cool to see. It's pretty edgelord looking ship from the 90s, and it has the Black Sun logo there, which is of course the poor man's version of Black Sun is Crimson Dawn from the Solo movie. Black Sun's the OG criminal
Oh my,
organization in
that's too
Star Wars.
funny.
Yeah, so this is the real one. All right, and next is my Fan Expo pickup. This is the announcement poster for the Clone Wars show that it was handed out at the Clone Wars announcement panel at Celebration in 2007 in LA. It's a sought after Celebration poster because it features Ahsoka, but she's in a silhouette because she wasn't really like, she was still sort of a secretive character. So you just see like the outside of her design there. So I got Ashley Eckstein to sign that, and I think it looks pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. So for me, people were talking about this, and I found a local place to grab this. It was $8.75 for one. So Zach was like, at that price, I would grab two. So he convinced me. So I did. So I did. And this is the foil variant of the of it. And I'm not a very comic person. I believe it's a facsimile. But I'm not very well versed on that. But yeah, it's got a few waves in it. You can't see it here. I didn't add those pictures, but next up, yeah, I've got the final. I talked about I got this a while ago. I finally actually futzed the hair. This is the one that had very puffy hair. As you can see, it looks quite a bit better here, and I finally posed it up. I'm gonna probably switch out the gun for the SMG, like But the reason I put the pistol in first, I wanted to see how it would hold, because I know some people said theirs fell, but I think it's because they weren't pushing the hands in. You got to really put some pressure on it, but it hasn't fallen over, knock on wood, either. So it's
This is the in-art.
good. Yeah, sorry, the in-art Joker. Sorry, I should have made that very more clear.
So yeah. I kind of
got
passively watched some of the stuff that was around this, but everybody was freaking out about this for the longest time, right? Weren't they? Or like, wasn't there like, there was like pre-orders and then it closed and they open up more, like this is your chance, and then it took some time for it to come out, and then they were talking about the hair and versus not having rooted hair, stuff like that.
This is definitely In-Art's. This is basically In-Art's first figure. So this is their first kind of test on how it would actually come out, and it came so close to the prototype. I mean, it's insane how good it actually looks. These photos don't really do it justice. I know people say the like these aren't zoomed in. You can zoom in on these if I sent them via my phone, say. But the way the light casts down on his face, it looks so much like Heath Ledger. It's unreal. And like the pores and the paint and the way the hair actually sets, and there's quite a bit of product, so I just used a bit of water, and it's basically hairspray. I think they've just pounded it on there, but I'm gonna probably get the jail cell set up as well, and then I got the DX19. I'm gonna do that first beside him, the Batman.
How's it going, Punisher?
Yeah, this was In-Art's first test, and I think they really proved themselves. So we'll see how the rest come out. Well, the Gandalf, just came out, I should say.
Articulation wise, just like it's the body build, everything like that. What would you say, like as close to Hot Toys as anything's came? Or
I, to be honest, barely played around with the articulation because I had so much trouble, and it was late at night. I had so much trouble getting the head on there. You have to undo the tie, but Eddie's advice is if you do it in the back, and I was trying to just loosen it from the front first, but there's an actual like slip like little metal thing that you can slide. It's hard to do. You have to do it with some tweezers, but that was definitely the better way. But even then it was hard, and just all the futzing and stuff. And then when I pulled out the hand, I pulled out part of the arm, but because they've got the full thing still. They've got the full magnetic arm. At least I believe they do, but I resocketed it, so I'm pretty sure I'm good there. But
nice.
But I didn't mess around too much with the articulation. It's got good weight and stuff to it, but I'll probably mess around more with the articulation with the other one that doesn't have the jacket on.
So Chris, I was thinking maybe just to get some traction on the Instagram,
Yeah.
maybe we ask the community to post their collecting problem with the picture or something like that. What do you think? Like, do like a
Yeah,
post or
absolutely.
what?
Yeah, if you guys do that and you tag Small Talk CW on Instagram, we will reshare your post but try to make it you know, something that won't get our account banned, but we'll consider resharing it if it's relatable to the topic and you tag us. That'd be cool.
All right, guys, let's get straight into the news. There's a decent amount. Of course, McFarlane goes all the way, all the time, right? But we'll start off with Mezco. So the first thing we got is Major Tote, right? I said that right.
I believe so.
From and the Ark of the Covenant Deluxe box for $112, due out June to August of next year. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I really don't like this figure. Honestly, I think the head sculpt is what does it for me. I'm sure the body and all the other stuff that's typical for Mezco is right on par, but I'm just not about this head sculpt.
Well,
Um,
he is a bit of a crazy looking dude in the movie. Like,
yeah, it just in general,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It looks like they painted a layer of sweat onto him though, like he had in the movie. It's weird. There's something going on with the paint apps.
Yeah.
Otherwise, as you said though, it's really cool.
Glasses are tough at that scale, but like it's seeing through the lenses of the glasses really
Well,
sort of betrays the scale, in my opinion, with something like this. But it does look really nice. Other than that,
well, and even in the movie though, he had those classic like evil guy glasses that were like super in on the face kind of thing, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but like, look, I mean, the tailoring's crazy
Yeah.
for
The
the
suit
size
looks
of the
amazing.
thing. Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
And
And
this
the
is gonna
accessories, yeah.
yeah, the accessories are insane. Like, I think I'm not a fan of the figure, but I am a fan of the arc. This arc is awesome. And then this is probably my
Oh
favorite piece
man,
right here is the ghost right here. Like, this is awesome. And
Close
really,
your eyes.
if you think about it, you only need this deluxe set, the indie, and they need to make the girl, and you can just futz like a little branch or a stick or something, tie him against it and stuff. It'd be
yeah, I
kind of
guess
cool.
that'd be a lot of real estate for the diorama. But like, how crazy is this, right? Like I gotta, what's the lore of this? Like, what are those ghosts? Like, you got the
Hmm.
Moses Ten Commandments in there, but a bunch of devil monster ghosts come out. Like, what's even going on in that movie? It's crazy. What an ending. But okay, I don't know if I knew about this. That is the way to display this figure right
This
there.
is my favorite head sculpt of this figure. And this, if I were to buy this, this would be the one. The one after it's not bad too, like the one like
Yeah.
the
They're
zombie
so
looking one.
creepy. Oh my god. And the hand as well is so
Yeah.
yeah.
Rated PG, by the way. Yeah.
This figure,
Good old days.
as weird as that first head sculpt is, I still think it's okay. Otherwise, this figure is just incredible. They really
Yeah.
killed it.
And I think they really got like that melted waxiness from the movie too, right here. I think that looks
Oh
really
yeah.
good. But it's going to come with several things. It's going to have 7 hands, 7 hands extra, and then the pistol, the little metal. What would you call that? Spear, I guess. And what's this piece right here?
The hot poker. That's the
Yeah.
top of the raw staff.
Yeah.
And then of course the arc, which I think is the best part of all of this.
Definitely.
You could put this almost anywhere in a collection and just have fun with it.
Oh yeah, for like toy photography, like
Yeah,
having like any other toy line messing with the Ark of the Covenant
like a
is
Deadpool
safe.
or something like that.
Exactly. There's a lot of opportunity there for sure.
And that was the only thing we had for Mofex. We only have a couple of reveals for I'm sorry, that was Mezco. We only have a couple reveals for Mofex. So the first one is the MCU Captain America First Avenger reveal. To be completely honest, like, I've always thought this was a really cool version of Captain America, nod to his original appearances and stuff before he was even truly, I would say truly a Marvel character. I think the head sculpt looks pretty decent, the unmasked one. But for the most part, kind of general. Like it reminds me a lot of some Figuarts stuff. But I don't know about you guys, but I was a huge, or I am, I should say, I am a huge MCU fan. It got me into the comics, so there's a lot that I have to owe to this. But I'm kind of over the Infinity Saga. I've watched very few of the new phase, but I don't know. I just think it's past its time, and we're still getting figures.
Yeah, well, they burnt all the main but slash best characters on phase one, and now it's like the C-listers or reboot the whole thing. So it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna hit a wall at some point unless they manage to just like maybe the craziest move would be to just have new heroes that like aren't from comic books. Like, start a new book series and a movie at the same time, maybe, because like they're really pulling from the bottom of the barrel for characters lately.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
Badfish, what do you
think
think about this guy?
I think this is cool. I think this is for the people who maybe for some reason don't have this or want to still fill out something from that part of the collection. But I would agree with you though. In general, it is a little odd that they're still dipping into the jar. It's like Batman though. They'll make another Batman because he's popular, and this is somebody's version, as we've often said. But at the same time, I know most of the collecting community, and for me personally, I still want to keep my Marvel stuff, but don't really want to add a whole lot of new stuff. I wanted the Iron Man, Thor, and geez, why can't I think of the third guy right now?
Hulk?
Hulk, not Hulk. Iron Man,
Oh,
Thor, and
boy.
Cap.
Oh,
He's right on the freaking screen. Those three, and then maybe I had Thanos, but I never did, and that was like my end game slash like a Avengers kind of display is kind of how I think about it. But some people are a bit more completionist of it.
I mean, talk about completionists. I mean, look, there's the whole thing right there. Man.
Even
But yeah,
the
you
posters.
don't need another Cap though. You know what I mean? That's where it's kind of nice where you don't. If you want, you can just find those really random characters if you want to fill in those really random
The
holes.
only figure, well, there's two, but the only one I really feel like I need is the Figuarts Final Battle Iron Spider, for many reasons. One, it will fit with the rest of the collection as far as like size wise, because it's a mix of it's a mix of Figuarts and Legends. And the stand-in Spidey that I have here is from his new movie, and it just doesn't fit. But it also came with the gauntlet that was being thrown around in game, so you can put that on Hulk. You can put it with Black Panther, having him hold it, run with it. The other figure that I would prefer to get is a Black Panther. It's the King of Wakanda version. I just think that suit looks the best, and I really enjoy that suit. But there's other things. I see other things at the store, and I'd rather purchase it when I see it than shop around.
Yeah, that's gotta what these are for. Like those little random ones that people just didn't grab that they still want.
The next thing we have from MoffX is the Death of Superman era Eradicator. Never followed it. Not really sure. It looks cool. I think it's a cool take. I like these beams. But you guys have anything to say about it?
It's
That
cool
cape
that
is kinda cool.
he's got like welding glasses. That's cool. I wonder
The
if that's
glasses
somehow.
are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
only other thing. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just like the way the design of them makes them sort of immune to those like the small scale glasses problems we were just talking about. Like, it's just a clear piece that goes over top, so that it looks nice.
Yeah, it's very like future. It's like the prediction in the 80s of what the future was going to be like.
Yeah.
But they'll go back one. The only other thing is the cape is really cool. The way it arches over his arm. I don't know if it's gonna stay. It looks like they've got some sort of plastic shell supporting it in the back there. But either way, that's the only other thing I would think I'd have to say about it. It's very cool. Yeah, no idea what that is though.
jumping into McFarlane, we're going to try to run through some of this pretty quick, but we do want to take some time on that Joker because that Joker is still really cool. McFarlane Toys, DC Multiverse, Clayface, Batman, and Batwoman 3-pack gold label, Amazon exclusive. Batman, Batman, Batwoman, and Clayface. They repeated that for $69.99. Based on the look of this Rebirth comic, it's based on the Rebirth series. Accessories include a grappling launcher and 2 batarangs.
That hair is just so impractical, you know. But what you can do, it's hardcore. But I mean, Clayface is that like I don't know if he had like debuted in the animated series, but like like that. It's cool to see like a deluxe version of that hideous pile of clay. I mean, you can see like there's is that like like skulls like in his. I mean, if it's a skull, it's like mutated, but it kind of looks
It's
like
like
his face.
some sort of animal skull or something. It could be human. Yeah, definitely.
That's
I mean,
pretty
if
cool.
he's Clay, right, he's probably coming up from the ground, pulling that stuff with him, maybe.
I love that the Batman, it looks like there's little bats on his knees.
Like his the kneecaps.
Yeah, they look like little bats. Yeah, cool set. What was that, $70 too? It's not bad.
Yeah, for 3 figures. I mean,
not terrible.
That Clayface has been out, right?
Did they do like a Build-A-Figure and then like a mega fig of it? Something like
that's something. Yeah, it looks real familiar. I'm sure it's slightly paint changed or something, but
I actually really enjoyed
might be
when someone at the comic store convinced me to read the Rebirth stuff. Part of the Batman storyline had him in there, and I actually kind of enjoyed the character, but I didn't read it far enough to know where it went. So, and there's the box, and then we have the DC Multiverse Atomic Skull and Superman 2-pack gold label, Amazon exclusive, $39.99. I mean, I would completely pass on the Superman, but I think this Atomic Skull looks awesome. It is pre-orders are available September 22nd for this.
Yeah, the darker purple paint there looks like very metallic. That's nice. And the flame effect is pretty good and tasteful. I don't know, the head is pretty awesome on that thing.
Yeah, this is one of the cooler like unique kind of figures with the purple and flame and FX.
And then we have the McFarlane Toys Gold Label collection, DC Multiverse Batman and Bat Raptor 7-inch action figure and vehicle GameStop exclusive. This is going to be $50 based off of his appearance in Hush, available now from pre-orders are available now from for September 24th. I'm sorry.
Okay,
it looks
that's
like he
how
just
it
looks straight down though.
This looks so funny.
You know, like
this looks like an animated series toy from the 90s. Like this looks like my original like 90s Batmobile looked, where like the jet like pulled out of the back of it. Like it's so angular and like the paint looks very basic on the sides. I don't know. It looks like it's from a simpler line, but I don't know. It does look a bit weird. I was wondering how the cape was going to work with that. Looks odd. Yeah.
Next, we got the Dark Knights of Steel Batman from Elseworld series with Batman in medieval style garb.
I love the armor. Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
That looks really cool actually.
And the cowl with it. This is cool looking.
And this is going to be $20. Pre-orders available now on October 20.
It's probably a bat 6th. Hidden on that sword too somewhere
in here.
Man, I can't believe those are still $20. Like that is like got to be mostly new parts as well. That's crazy. It's like if I was really into this line, I think like it's space, not price. That's the problem. Like for sure. That's crazy.
That is a cool way to incorporate the sword into.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Good stuff.
That's why. Yeah, I was saying that you got to show that picture.
That's cool. That's a cool little gimmick right there.
I
And
like
then look
the
at him
art.
sitting all regal on that throne in the
Yeah,
picture in the back. That's really
love
cool.
the art. Yeah.
Then we got New 52 Jim Gordon as Batman. This is going to be $19. Due out October 6th as well. Not a fan. Hashtag not my Batman.
Yeah. This reminds me of that Batman 66 Alfred as Batman. It's like, no thanks. I'm good.
I think of like Sam Fisher, like Splinter Cell. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
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 This is something that Badfish you're pretty excited about, right? The Joker interrogation room from Dark Knights gold label 7-inch figure. It's a McFarlane toy exclusive for $40. Pre-orders are sold out. But,
Yeah, this was popular. Yeah.
Looks awesome. I mean,
People were pretty hyped about this, I think. So.
we've gotten several Jokers already from this line. So it's kind of like, okay, you put out some extra, but then you get the interrogation room. You know, a lot of people would argue this is a really good scene in the movie.
Cool box setup.
Yep.
I like that his arms can go back like that and it doesn't look terrible. The one thing that does look really funny, if you go back real quick, where he's holding the table, the joint on his arm, on his right wrist, is hilarious looking.
Yeah.
But
is it one of those
otherwise,
sliding joints? It's like you piece it together and then it just kind of rotates on itself. That's what it looks
True,
like.
actually. It looks
I'm
okay on the left, but not on the right. Yeah.
This is a case for like buying something to keep it sealed. Like this looks so much better in the box to me with the way it's displayed.
Like almost like a commemorative or something.
Yeah, like you're paying for a generic table at the end of the day, a good chunk of it, right? So it's like it's cool to see like the whole layout with all the stuff in there. It's like like the Legends has done a few sets similar where like it's like sort of a diorama background and they have like 3 or 4 figures in there. Like I don't know, that looks pretty cool to me, but there's a lot of stuff in this that is like very general, but maybe you could get some additional use out of the accessories.
Yeah, if I got this, I wouldn't. I personally, if I got it, I wouldn't unbox it. But yeah, I've got the Joker as you saw that I need. So
Yeah, to y'all's points, like this is something you could probably find off of Etsy, like the table, the chair.
Michaels, they sell
maybe
similar
that's what he
stuff.
did.
Yeah, this is cool.
All right, this is actually pretty cool. I actually really like this Hawkman. So this is the DC Multiverse Collection Edition Wave 2 Collector's Edition Wave 2 Hawkman 0 Hour. This is going to be $30 and it's due out for October. I don't know. Like this is a really cool take on Hawkman.
I just love the detail on the wings, the feather and details.
Yeah, they seem, but they like it doesn't really even look like they have like a wash on them. It almost looks like you see that all because of the lighting. Maybe they do though, but it I mean they look good. It's just like I feel like it's got some kind of it does have some
Definitely
kind of paint
because it's
detail on
painted
there.
blue at the top and then white.
Yeah. No,
it's got blue wash or something.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
And
He's
the
got,
chest
like,
hair,
really
come
skinny
on.
legs though. Like
Yeah,
down,
the legs are
like
a
past the
little funny.
knees.
Yeah, you're not doing much. Both feet on the ground poses for that guy. Yeah.
Cool helmet
like
too.
That it looks awesome.
Yeah. Too bad it doesn't have like a flight stand, but I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, I think that's
You
one
can
of my
get 'em.
biggest gripes with any figure that comes with somebody that flies,
Yeah,
aka
100%.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then we have the DC Multiverse Brainiac from Injustice 2. Is that right?
This is Sinestro.
Or
We're still up
Sinestro.
here. Yeah, we're still up here.
Oh, I see.
This is the bad guy, right? I don't know anything about the Green Lanterns. Sinister.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's bad.
Yeah.
Sinestro.
I mean, he looks like the devil too. So
He's
it's a
also
safe
not
bet.
green. He's yellow. I mean, who likes the color yellow? No, not just kidding. Yeah, he's $30 too. Yeah, $30. From the Sinestro Core Wars.
Yeah, Green Lantern's something I never got into.
That hair.
Such verticality.
Yeah, this is Firestorm. from
Firestorm.
Crisis on Infinite Earth, also $30, and
Okay.
also October 30th. Up for pre-order.
And what about the Superman right here?
That's the one that you had, Brainiac and Superman.
Ah, okay. I see
Yeah,
what happened.
that's the one,
Okay,
yeah.
so this is the DC Multiverse,
It's a 2-pack,
DC
sorry.
Gaming Wave 10 Brainiac Injustice 2 Superman Injustice 2.
Oh no, it's
2-pack.
not a 2-pack. Sorry, ignore
No?
what it's $22.99 for each.
$22.99 for each. Okay,
I just mixed up the order. Sorry.
and then. I mean, this is kind of a cool take. I like the suit. I definitely don't like that head sculpt, but I never played the game, so
It's like he's got denim. It's really cool looking, I think. But
Yeah, it looks a little more finished than some of the stuff we've been seeing from DC Multiverse. Like the paint, it's not a movie figure, but the paint looks a little more photorealistic rather than like the sort of solid color stuff you see on some of those comic book based repaints. So I like that it looks a little more like an actual finished product than some of that
Yeah.
other stuff.
paint apps are pretty good on it. Yeah.
and then there's the Brainiac, which was also $22, $23.
Decent.
That pose is funny there. That like
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. The face. This looks. This almost doesn't look like a McFarlane like DC figure to me. Like it looks almost like slightly too polished, and like the face looks a little bit too good. Like I don't know what's going on here, but I don't know I don't know much about this storyline either. But this appeals to me.
yeah, it's interesting.
And then we have the McFarlane Toys exclusive Omega versus Batman 2 Batman 2-pack. Features an unmasked Omega from The Last Night on Earth. Sorry about that. And Bloody Rebirth Batman mold. $50. Pre-orders are shipping out in October.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm talking about. The sort of finished paint look, man. Like these are a little more generic, a little more matte. Don't quite, it doesn't quite look done there. That head sculpt is kind of crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, this is. I think the Batman looks cool. Just kind of a cool looking suit, and the musculature on him. But the other one, I'm not. Yeah, not a fan of.
All right, we're going to just run through Super 7 real quick. All we have is a quick update on the cat layer. So this was $650. Pre-orders close on September 17th. And it's due out October of next year. The backers were 3,000. They definitely met their backers, but it's kind of stalled since. We're only at 3,295. So, I mean, they're a long ways away from some of these other tiers, but little over couple weeks, I guess, to try to unlock some of these tiers. And then going into SH Figuarts, we got another Son Goku Ultra Instinct, but this one is kind of special, guys. The Toyotaro edition is that how you say it?
Yeah, you're not getting that answer from me, but
So this is going to be $80 due out in March of next year. The really cool part of this is that it's going to include the Dragon Ball Z SH Figurepedia by V Jump books and summarize the 171 items of SH Figuarts Dragon Ball series. This not only includes illustrated pages following the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z series, but interviews with the master Toyotaro and with the and the planning staff. So
That's
guys,
cool, man.
144
Yeah, this
pages
is cool as hell.
of complete figures of the story of this entire line. I mean, I feel like this is something Dean has to have.
Yeah, like I'm used to get like as a Star Wars collector, I'm used to getting stuff like this, but it doesn't always happen for these avid collectors of these lines. Like there was a TVC book a couple years ago, and like I mean, it'll be interesting to me if it's available without the figure. I would suspect not, or they wouldn't be marketing it this way, at least not initially. But I'm sure if they don't split it up, that there'll be plenty of people who want to buy it just for one or the other. So I'm sure you'll see the figure and the book on the secondary market if you don't if you don't get them together.
Yeah. I
This
mean,
is, really cool.
back in the day, my friend Michael, he used to he used to get the Shonen Jump books, and those were always cool. And he'd keep the book, and he'd give me the card and stuff like that. And uh, I mean, it's just a really cool magazine, you know. And then I never read V Jump, but it's very similar. So I'm expecting some really cool, like off the wall photos and like setup of the pages and stuff like that. But for an encyclopedia of the entire line, I mean, that is really cool.
Yeah, I wish more
Yeah.
companies would do something like this. Like you said, it's definitely been done in Star Wars a few times, but
Hmm.
because then this information can then be brought online, and then it's things that you can, if you're selling something or trying to put something together, you can use these resources to be like, okay, that came with this accessory or whatever. Or yeah, I think these are kind of important in a way of like figure history.
And then Tamashi Nations has announced their more permanently invading New York with its upcoming storefront September 8th, with a grand opening of its flagship store in New York. This one is going to be very similar to the one in Tokyo, and it's going to feature several of the SH Figuarts Tamashi Nation brands exclusives. So if you ever make your way out to New York, you have your opportunity to get a Tokyo like Tamashi Nation store. And this is exciting. I mean, how cool is it that you could go into a store and just find all the exclusives or most of them that are still available?
The thing I'm not sure about this is I thought some of their Star Wars product, for example, like wasn't like licensed for retail in the US, so I guess you
Mhm.
just won't be able to find that stuff there. I don't know exactly how that is going to break down, but I mean, I've definitely their other store is pretty iconic, and I've definitely seen a lot of
Mhm.
photos of it over the years when they do like reveals and stuff. So this is it's pretty cool.
You you know when I first saw this picture, I immediately just thought of like how slick and clean this looks, and it made me think of like a high end watch store. There's one in San Marcos, Texas that I went to one time. Just happened to walk in. I was just walking into stores checking out the outlet mall, and it was a dark room. It had like its crowning jewel in the center with the glass case over it, and it was all black counters with the glass to look through all their watches and stuff. This is what it like reminds me of. So I think this is gonna be really cool. And you know what? I don't think I put it. Yeah, I didn't put it on here. It's not far from Times Square.
Yeah,
So.
it would be like I feel like it like there's for example there's a Super 7 store in San Francisco, for example. I think they
Mhm.
only have a couple stores, but they like I feel like Hasbro should have something like this like in like New York, where it's just like basically the type of displays they bring to like SDCC and like Fan Expo and all that, where they just have the cases of like whatever the last like year's worth of stuff is and new announcements, and
Mhm.
just like have it like museum quality where you can actually buy like some current retail stuff. In a New York downtown environment, they would probably operate it at a loss, but it would generate some great social media content for them. That's for sure.
Like a version of the Disney store in a way, maybe like that kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They do Disney store just kind of does a good job presenting their stuff. But yeah, this looks cool. Very interesting. I can't wait to actually see how it looks in the end.
And then this is just a little update. Tamashi Nations announced on their online stores that the pre-orders from San Diego Comic Con and their exclusives are live on Premium Bandai. Pre-orders are set for February, and all of these figures range from 75 to $90. And I know the only one I was kind of super interested in was the Goku with the Force Ghost Goku.
Gohan.
Um, Sorry. Well, I was talking about the
You
Ghost
said
Goku.
Goku with Force
Goku with
Ghost
the
Goku. Yeah,
well, he could probably figure out a way to do it both.
we knew what you meant. That's pretty cool. I think
um,
Dean already got the Raditz, right? He
did he?
unboxed it, I think. I have to double check, but yeah.
And then Badfish, you want to take some of this Black Series stuff for me?
For sure, yeah. So going into Black Series here, all of these are due out fall 2023 and are up for pre-order on a multiple places, Amazon, BBTS, etc., and are $24.99. Some places a little bit more depending where you order. So this is obviously Ahsoka. Looking pretty good with the. I think the sculpt is pretty good.
Now I'm
Standard.
guessing that's a reissue of the Mandalorian season 2 one.
I
right?
think it's pretty damn close. I don't think her
Yeah.
outfit changed much.
Yeah, the
if at all.
TVC was definitely an exact reissue, so this probably is too.
Yeah, but yeah, that was as usual popular, so be another chance to get it. Then Sabine from the Ahsoka. These are all obviously from the Ahsoka series. She's looking pretty good. The sculpt I wasn't too sure about, but once I saw the show, I think it's pretty accurate, and I like the coloration as usual on her armor. But
Yeah, I like that helmet a lot, actually.
It's somewhat more appropriately sized than the TVC one. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I always like that character too. And we've got General Hera Syndulla, and she's I don't know, I guess she's pretty much worn the same outfit for the last 15 years or something. She hasn't changed those orange pants.
It's not exactly the same, but it's getting there, yeah. And I, my, like, I'm gonna be vague about this, but yeah, my nightmares came true, and we finally saw Junior on the show. Hate to see it.
I will say I couldn't get a good picture of the back. There's a cool logo on the back of her jacket, but
oh, cool. It's probably the like Rebellion like Phoenix logo, right, or something like that.
It was something else, green and white. I actually didn't recognize it, but again, the pics were so bad I couldn't really pick it out.
Okay.
This is, I think, a straight reissue as well, because I have this is it right here.
I think it actually says Rebels on the box, so they didn't even update the box. I don't think, at least one of the early photos. Yeah, so this is just a reissue. Yeah,
but this is a great figure. It was very popular.
He comes with the effect piece.
Who doesn't love Chopper?
Effect piece too?
Yeah.
The one you have?
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, that's not new. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love Chopper. Who doesn't? And he's if you actually listen, you can hear what there's just Google YouTube Chopper with subtitles, and it's fun. This is I love this guy in the show with no spoilers, Professor Huang. I'm not sure how. Yeah, Hu Yang. She says it very distinctly in the show. He comes with a little data pad and like a little and this is the feature I had to show, that he's got these little arms on the back that you can put on, that I think are awesome.
Yeah, he's cool, man. That all droid figures and Black Series are always fun, and like once in a while lately they've been sort of skimping out on the paint apps, but this guy looks like they gave him due attention, and he looks pretty good.
His attitude in the show is like, it reminds me of K2SO.
Yeah, it's voiced by David Tennant, of course, who he's done a few other droid characters and background voices in Star Wars for a while, so it's cool to see that character resurface for sure.
Now, I said I feel like this is kind of a spoiler for the show, in my opinion, but Chris is arguing that it could just be Ezra Bridger, sorry, in the next one there.
Yeah,
could just be.
I was just making sure. I know it's already there. It's already out there. But
yeah, I mean it's out there. But yeah, Ezra Bridger, the Lothal version. You could argue that if he does appear in the show, I don't think he'll be wearing this.
Okay, is it titled? Does the figure actually say Lothal version?
Yeah, if you go to the first.
Yeah, then I will. This Lothal. I would very much argue this is based on the season 4 Rebels look or the hologram, because let's face it, Sabine got that saber. Sabine's not giving back that saber. Like this is not going to happen. They're not going to take the saber from Sabine and give it back to Ezra. Disney's physically incapable of doing that. So this is a season 4 version of Ezra based on the hologram, and I really hope if he does turn back up in this season or this show later on, that he's not wearing his cartoon clothes. I hope they give him a new look for being lost in another galaxy for like several years.
I hope so too. So this is one of the baddies in the show, Morgan Elsbeth. You saw her previously on, was it Mando season 2, fighting Ahsoka?
Season 2. Yep.
Yeah, she fought Ahsoka, and then we've got one of her HK-87. This photo, is terrible, by the way. Real quick, go back. I don't know and the way the hair transition is not good, but the photo is just kind of crap. But
Well,
It just
I
kind of
mean,
sits backwards, not even behind the ear.
I
it's a
just don't
little
like the way it goes from brown to like white. It just looks really janky, the paint.
it's a little too close for a Black Series figure, probably for
Yeah.
product photography. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, HK87. This guy looks cool as hell. I mean, cool little
The
soft goods.
the face looks a little unfinished on the paint side. Like maybe it just needs a little more wash or something, but it just sort of looks like solid red plastic on the head. You know what I mean? I don't know if maybe that's how it looks, but you're gonna tell me there's all that little metal detail in the mouthpiece and the visor, and there's like
Uh,
no
I
paint on it.
yeah, think there should be more silver in there in the face, but other than that, I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're all different color variants of these. I think, or there's
Yeah,
different color variations.
Yeah, there's
In the
exactly yeah, there's some figures in different scales that they went with different color patterns based on the 3 or 4 seen in the show.
Yeah. So real quick, previous versions of this exact same figure, just with a different color pattern, has those all painted silver, all little protrusions on the helmet.
So there's a chance it's accurate
fun.
to the show where it's fully painted red, but I don't know
True.
about that.
And then our last one here, sorry, is Merrick is it Marok? Merrick?
Yeah.
His unknown. There's theories on who this is, but unknown at the moment.
Yeah.
How much do you buy some of those theories, like without like spoiling or mentioning it? I mean,
I have my
heard
own
one-
theory. I haven't read any of the other ones, to be honest. Go ahead, though.
No, I mean that's all I was really gonna say. Like,
Well-
the one that I heard is probably the one that most people have heard, but
I think I might have heard that one too, but I have my own personal one. But yeah, we'll see.
he looks cool though.
The thing is,
Like,
if it's
I like the
referencing
armor.
a Legends like non-canon character, it's not really a spoiler because like technically like all that previous story is like not part of this story at all. So it's like some of the more compelling rumors are characters from stuff that's no longer canon, and I think if it ends up being that, it's sort of a name only because they can just rewrite the story however they want. But
I'd be
you know,
shocked if they're not from Rebels. That's I guess that is
Yeah,
as
maybe
close as I'll
so.
get to it is my prediction. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you know, it's interesting seeing this because, like, on the show, you don't really notice those orange details quite as prominently. And I mean,
No.
that's straight up a medieval knight helmet, like, no matter how you slice it. So that's interesting to see.
Yeah. But and then we've got our 1-to-1 Black Series items here. We've got these Black Series Ahsoka Tano Force FX. I think it's deluxe lightsaber. It's depending where you get it, it's either 248 or 278, coming out October next year. So it's a ways away, October 2024. But I like the designs of these, but I don't like. I really like collecting the sabers, but I don't know if I would get this one.
Yeah, well, the cool thing is, like, we had a picture of the actual prop earlier in the show, and like, it's just like you already referenced, like, what a time to be alive. You buy the exact thing, like, you know what I mean. Like, man, when I was a kid, you had to suffer with like BS looking lightsabers.
Some kind of like
yeah, like, you know,
almost like a flea market like
Plastic.
runoff.
a flashlight.
You
You know? Yeah, like this looks incredibly accurate to the prop. So
And the
that's
price
cool.
isn't terrible at 248. Is pretty good.
The stands are always cool too, though. You know, those are.
Yeah, I like the
legit.
revamped stands. Much prefer them to the old ones. And then next we've got some helmets. Lots. These are reissues. The first ones here. This is the Star Wars Shadow Trooper. It's our Black Series Shadow Trooper, and it's $99 due out July 2024. So this was pretty popular. Goes for a decent price, I think, right now, but not as much as the next one. The next one is pre-order sold out in a few places, so this is also $99, but April of 2024, and this is labeled as the Rogue One, but this is your classic Stormtrooper if
Yeah.
you want one on the shelf. And I regret not getting one at Fan Expo for like 40 or it was on sale for like $40 or $50 when they're regular like 130 here, and I
Yeah.
just didn't want to carry it or something. I don't, and I regretted it ever since. Now they're like $450 for one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got this, and once again, this like Sabine one that you have up now is like shockingly accurate to the show, and it's crazy that you
Yeah.
can buy it from Hasbro for like a little more than $100, whatever it is.
Now it says advanced LED effects, which this is the same LED effects as they put in all the others, I feel like. But otherwise, this is very cool. The paint apps are cool, but it's a bit more. It's $131.99,
Yeah.
and that's September of next year. But yeah, it's ways away too. But I think if you're a helmet collector, and if you like Rebels, this is probably a must-have.
Absolutely.
Next, we've got TVC. They're reissuing Thrawn, which we've seen before. This does not look like he does in the show.
Well,
I think.
it's technically not a reissue. This version is technically the
Yeah, I wasn't
body's
sure.
probably
Couldn't find the details.
yeah, like the body's probably what this using a lot of parts that because they've had a few Imperial officers out lately, which are pretty much the same uniform but gray. But the head, this one, it looks like the Black Series Rebels Thrawn kind of. It's not really based on the actor, but
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it's pretty much up that alley. It's sort of like a real life interpretation of Rebels Thrawn. So you have a younger version than what you're going to see on the Ahsoka show, which that's not a spoiler. It's been in the trailers. Everybody knows it. So I don't hear about it. But
I wish they didn't show that, but yeah, but I get why they did.
Well, it was in Mandalorian season 2 anyway. Ahsoka
True.
was looking for Thrawn.
Pretty much.
But yeah, the one notable thing about that Thrawn though is that I don't know, I don't think you have the card back here, but it's the first TVC card back that just straight up uses an animated media photo on the card.
I couldn't find it. I was looking for it. I couldn't get the card back. I have
Well,
the others, but
it's just a picture of Thrawn from Rebels, which that's the first time they've not tried to do a real life interpretation to some degree.
And sorry, all of these are $16.99 and are fall 2023 for the TVCs here. This is General Hera Syndulla here again. This looks good for the scale too, and this is different than what you'll get with the Ghost, which I'll show you later. There's an update picture of the Ghost one. She comes with a jacket here, while the other one doesn't.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the one with the Ghost is sort of supposed to be Rebels season 4, and this is the Ahsoka show. So there is big costume difference. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, there's definitely a difference. Then our baddie here, looking good on the card back, but Morgan Elsbeth again, cool soft goods. I like the mix of colors. Yeah, the paint again. I think it's just bad photos on the face app, but yeah.
Well, her hair might be a little too technical for like a $20 figure at that scale. Well, because
this looks better than the Black Series. I can't tell, but from here it does. The hair, at least.
Well, if it's better than the Black Series, that's crazy. But
I know.
I wouldn't be surprised if you're right.
And then again, back to the HK87 button TVC. I don't think the Black Series had the big staff, right?
Yeah, I don't
recall
think
now,
so.
or if he had the legs. I'll check here in a minute. But this is the assassin droid, and yeah, red guy again. But then we'll update on the HasLab. Just updated numbers as of earlier tonight. It's at 12,532 backers, so they passed the first tier. And these are the same picks we had last week, so we'll blast through these. But the first tier here that we see is Ezra. There's the updated picture that they did reveal. So I go back 2 slides. There, yeah, that's an updated picture of her. I think it's the first physical one we've seen of her versus renders. Looking pretty good. As you mentioned, this is more the actual Rebels outfit. And then if we go ahead here, there was Hera, and here's the first tier at 11,000 since they're at 12,000. So that's been unlocked. And you have 6 more days. So get in on it if you want it.
Wow.
That's September 6th. And 14,000 for the Kanan there. And 17,000 for the Zeb. I don't know if we're going to hit it. I think it can happen because we'll probably get at least a couple more thousand. We'll probably hit the Kanan, but maybe not the Zeb. And then last but not least here are the retros. And these are all $12 fall of next year, which is weird that they're that far away. Fall of 2024. But all of the ones we've pretty much seen there. We've got Ahsoka, Sabine, Hera, Chopper, Morgan, HK-87, and Merrick is the hard to see one in the bottom right. I like the way they did the I should have got a picture of the Chopper, but it's almost like a Lego print on Chopper's chest for his like
Yeah.
details. It's kind
Well,
of cool.
yeah, well, the vintage R2 and R5D4 had a sticker, like for their uh barrel details, so they're sort of replicating that, which is cool. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's a cost saving measure, and it's funny that they're sort of porting it over. But
Definitely,
it's weird.
yeah.
It's weird that they're that delayed though, because like like as bland as the show was, the three Kenobi retros were out like within a week or two of the show,
Yeah,
and that
it's
was
weird.
our most recent opportunity for them, I think. So weird, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the Ahsoka stuff is next year, but it's available
Oh,
for pre-order.
all right, Badfish. Thank you for that
Yeah,
update
sure.
with the Star Wars. Appreciate that, especially because y'all know several much more things than I do than it. So appreciate it. Okay, so
Yeah,
for Marvel
we got you.
Legends, whoops. For Marvel Legends, we have the Marvel Legends DC plus Disney Plus Kingpin set here. Um,
Oh no, that
actually,
was
I'm
last
sorry,
week. I
that
think
was
we didn't
last week.
delete that. Yeah.
We have
So ignore
the
all that. Yeah.
yeah, we have the Infinity Saga. Infinity Saga. These are all going to be $24.99, due out in the fall of this year. Right there, and we're gonna have War Machine. We're gonna have the stealth suit Captain America. The I believe it's Mark 46 from Civil War. Bruce Banner, the Mark II from Iron Man, and then Black Widow, Spider Man, Tom Holland, and Thor. Um, I actually really need this War Machine. I was looking at it earlier. I was like, I need that War Machine. If I were to ever do another like in-game display, I would do the Civil War battle. I really enjoyed that part of the movie, and then of course, being the comic guy that I am, having Cap and Iron Man fighting in the classic like him using the beams in his hands and then him blocking the shield. That was an homage to
Hmm.
issue number 7, I believe, of the actual Civil War movie. So all these are kind of cool, but again, at the same time, kind of like what we were talking about with Mofex and the Captain America. I mean, I just feel like it's past. Like it's cool that we're gonna get these. They look better than some of the ones that have come out before them. But I mean, even if you look at Cap and his shield, that has some crazy marbling. It looks like on that. It's like you'd think they'd figure out how to fix something like that over all these years that they've done a Captain America.
And these are the nicer Infinity Saga like boxes. They're kind of like
Right.
the more premium. And don't get me wrong, I think these all look pretty good. And the I do like the sculpts on pretty much all, especially the Bruce. But yeah, it's I do think there are some minor issues with a few of them.
Hmm.
The
Thor's eyes
the
look really close too.
the War Machine forehead looks a little big. It's probably just a picture, but yeah, otherwise these are pretty cool.
And then Badfish, we got your NECA going here. I know you're pretty excited about this. So what are we looking at?
Yeah, so these are the pics we had last week, but then we actually got some more pictures. So we're with these are the baby turtles at 49.99, and these are a reissue of them. These were very popular, so and they're open on a 2-week window. So I think this is your last week to get them. But they come with a bunch of stuff, as you saw there. They come with baby turtles with weapons, a Big Mac, which not sure which part. Oh, it's that robot. The TV, VCR, a game console, VHS tapes, tracking device, personality modifying ray gun, baby pizza monster, fancy cheese painting, turtle backpack, pizza box, rock steady helmet, blowtorch, Star of Hoboken, and alternate Baxter Stockman head, which I don't see here, which is weird. But everything else I believe is here. But yeah, really cool accessory set. If you get the layer, or even if you don't, this is a great addition, I think, to any like cartoon turtles. And then we've got the actual layer, which this price, I'm gonna very quickly check the other. There's another company making a much more reasonable one. The layer is 3. Yeah, these turtles. Just look at how much fun you can have with them. The layer though, they were showing how big this thing is. It can fit the van inside, which is huge. And here's some of the turtles doing their thing with the accessories. And I believe it comes with this topper. It wasn't 100% clear on that, but it connects to the original street diorama that they had, which is pretty cool. But the other company, give me 30 seconds, is called
Yeah, I heard
these.
you.
Go ahead.
I was
I'll
just gonna
find it
say,
here,
like,
sorry.
yeah, but I definitely like heard a lot of the commentary seems to be around the price on this thing, and
Yeah,
like
it's insane. 300.
granted, like it is pretty big, but like if you think about the sort of mechanics of what's going on there, like besides that pipe at the top, it's pretty much flat walls. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like the size is like you're not seeing like crazy sculpting all over the place for that size.
I mean, even like the sewer holes, you could kind of just see how they're kind of caved in, and it's just painted black plastic, you know. So
Yeah, there's nothing complex going on here, and there's not a lot of accessories. That's why I think people were expecting maybe 200. But yeah, somebody's doing the same thing basically for 150. I just can't remember the name of the. Equan sent me the.
Brave.
Is that the name of the company?
No, it's Brave because he probably doesn't have the license.
Yeah, I don't. I doubt it, but I believe he's doing it for 150. And it's gonna connect as well. It's gonna have a manhole with a ladder that goes up to the top of the sewer as
Ooh.
well.
He's adding
Um,
features. He's really showing them up. It's not good.
Yeah,
these baby
I'll
turtles are
find
awesome.
the name of that before the end of
Yeah.
the show. These turtles were really popular, and it's just a cool accessory set. And I think that's real metal chains with the nunchucks, and it's cool stuff. And I mean, that whole setup, if you had that, that's amazing. And then last but not least, on NECA side, we have, sorry, I lost the show sheet here. We have the Mirage Comics version. So these are all the Mirage versions of the Turtles. But this is Splinter coming at $37, October 2023, based on the Eastman and Laird comics. He's 7-inch scale, but he's 4.5 inches tall. He comes with cloth robe, walking stick, broken TCR eye canister, interchangeable hands, baby turtles, teapot and cup, one mouser, the Utrom, and interchangeable hand. Oh, they'd already said that. Sorry, and premutation splinter.
Oh, nice. A little cartoon rat there. I mean, this is beautiful, man. This is
Yeah.
like this is this, and also this is how you do product photography too. Like, look at like in universe diorama stuff, man. This is awesome. I wish we'd get this type of stuff for Black Series, but they nailed
NECA does a good job with that.
yeah. But the art style to match the old books, they nailed it, man. That looks great.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the box. Those are one of those ones that'd be like you wouldn't want to open it, but I think we've talked about it. We're at the stage where you got to enjoy the collectibles, let them breathe.
All right, thank you very much, Badfish. And we do have a grade the figure today. So again, you'll be seeing some of the figures that we talked about earlier today. We are talking about moving this elsewhere in the show, just because it gets a little slow. So we're working on that, but we're gonna start with the Mofex Captain America. I'll start off with it. I'm gonna give it an A. I mean, it's cool that they're doing this figure. I like the classic shield. Again, it's just I feel like it's a little past time, especially with Cap doing what Cap did and at the end of Endgame and just kind of disappearing on us. But what do you think, guys?
I'll give it a B minus just because it looks technically competent. The unmasked head, it looks really weird to me. The closed mouth helmet one looks fine, and if you're gonna display it like that, that's probably the most iconic route. It looks competently done, but yeah, like I'm kind of over these dudes myself, so B minus.
I would say because it looks really good, B plus. And as you said, it looks well made. Cool articulation. Joints are kind of integrated well. But yeah, I think just as we discussed, there's that hype. The hype train is long left the station. So
And then we have the Sabine helmet. Badfish. What do you think? Give me your first impression.
I want to say A+ because I love Rebels. I love
I
I
figured
love
you were
a
gonna say
Mando
that.
helmet, and I love when you get a unique paint job on one. I mean, I don't know. I know they're just dipping into well, but this is a little unique in the shape. It's different than like not totally repainting the Boba Fett one like they're
But
doing with
isn't
Yeah.
some
it
of
the
these.
same
But
cut as Bo-Katan's?
I think it's smaller, but I could be wrong. But it
If it's
absolutely has the same visor.
if it matches the prop, it's definitely smaller than Bo-Katan's. I don't know if it how closely it will, but yeah. But sorry, Badfish. Did you give your rating on this?
I'm going A+.
Going A
I think
plus,
it's
huh?
cool with the weathering, and they do a good job on the helmets, and the price is right, I think. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's the thing. I think people have a hard time remembering. Like, I'm doing A+ too because like this sort of replica was like the realm of like EFX and like master replicas, and you'd have to pay like $500 plus for it in
Hmm.
the past. Like, it's literally you can't understand how good we have it. The fact that Hasbro's doing a good job and putting these out for less than $200. Like,
and
I
I've
only
thought
have
about spending that money on some of these things too, but I
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, like I only have two of these. I'd have the classic Stormtrooper, the one that the reissue's coming out, and the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. And there, the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett is like shockingly accurate as well. The only downside there is, there's the like distressed metal, which like they're never gonna that's the one part where it lags behind some of those other companies is like they can only get so crazy with the paint apps to keep the price where it is. But this one, I mean, look, there's a lot of fine detail there and weathering, and because it doesn't have that exposed metal look, I think this is actually like extremely accurate to the prop. And there's no shortage of photos of the original prop because they've been touring it around. So this looks really good to me. A+.
That Boba Fett, real quick, had like 150 paint apps, something crazy like that. It's
Yeah.
easily, I think, still their best made one. But yeah,
Yeah, don't
I'm
get the Book of Boba Fett version of that. Don't be a sucker.
I'm gonna give this an A-. It's not up my wheelhouse, but I
how
think it
dare
looks
you?
really cool. Just for you, Badfish. But I think the paint job looks amazing. It just looks a little too close to Bo-Katan for me. But again, casual Star Wars fan. Uh, the next one is the Hawkman. I'm gonna give this guy an A+. I think he looks really cool. I think you need to get him up off the air. Sucks that it doesn't have the stand, but I think he's doing all the work for you when it does get there. So I'd like to see how the wings kind of weigh him down or not. But I think this is a really cool figure.
Yeah, I'll go A-. Just for
Just to balance out the last one.
yeah, that too. But mainly just because I mean, paint apps and sculpts on the wings and the helmet are really calling to me. They're really cool looking. But the only minus, I guess, is the legs. But I'm noticing it now. The diaper in the middle is the only thing I don't like now that I look at it. So that gets the minus.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a C. I do think the wings are beautiful, but I think much like the sort of the NECA gargoyles, like I think they need to remember that these are supposed to be like posable figures, and I think they even if it would look a little weird, they need to work on finding ways to like let you do more with wings like this because if this was a statue, like cool, the wings look crazy, it's fine, it's good, but like it's really limiting in terms of like how you can sort of pose these figures. They're often the height of the figure. There's a lot of weight on them, and they're really just sort of like a brick that you have to like move around, and it's all hinging on a very small point. So like when you see stuff like what Mondo's doing, for example, with their like 1/6 like animated Batman stuff, like that Man Bat, those wings can actually like do stuff. For example, like I'm talking one or two joints. Yeah, like you got that vulture there, like you're muted.
You're on mute.
Yep. But yeah, just give
Yeah,
it some
this is a good
joints.
example of how to do wings. Yeah, they're separate. They're split here. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, but they basically can be completely posed. So
Yeah, look at that though. That only has one joint in it, and it can do a lot more just by letting the arm sort of like properly articulate. And I think I
Yeah.
want to see more of that. So C from me.
You
fixed
know
it.
what I'm just noticing is that right arm and how awkward it looks. Like right there in like the armpit, it
Yeah,
looks like the arm
yeah,
just goes back this way. You know, that's
the
all you
bad
really
joint.
get. So yeah, you might be right, Chris. I hate you.
I had it coming.
And then Badfish, we got your NECA layer. What do you what give me yours first?
Oh, gosh, man. Oh my gosh. I think based on principle, I have to give this a C. When I think like how disappointed I was when I saw the price for what you're getting, I just expected it to be way lower. It's cool, but that TV, I'm pretty sure, is part of the accessories for the baby turtles. All the other stuff other than the couch and the light and the rug and the extra armchair, I don't know. It's just, yeah. The price was just so disappointing. I feel like the community was so hyped for this. I know I was when I saw this. It's just a cool thing to have. And I had like a turtle layer, the Playmates one. I still technically do at my parents, and this would have been like a kind of cool callback to it. But yeah, C.
And what was the price tag? $4.99?
$2.99, but
$2.99?
$300. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm more around like the C plus. It brings back some really cool turtle memories. I mean, I was a big Turtles fan when I was a kid, um, before like jumping into Power Rangers and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. For like a basic Hot Toys or like a pretty decent statue or I don't know if I can do 300 on this. I mean, it's cool, but it is like what we were saying. It looks like a big chunk of plastic that has very little detail as far as like the way it was engineered, I guess.
Couple walls.
Yeah.
It's walls and a floor.
Yeah, and then it's all these separate figures, which is cool, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna go C plus. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight C on it. It's not that it's uncool. It's just that the value's not there, and it's like this you should be able. This is the kind of thing that a hobbyist could slap together. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like you don't. It doesn't need to almost be manufactured. Like you could see a guy like you said somebody's making one for 150. You could see a guy just make the walls. The walls could essentially be one piece and you just flip it to have the porthole on the left or right, and then it's like three identical pieces. I mean, the height it's different on the top and bottom, but you get what I'm saying. Like you could do this modularly, and because there's not a lot of unique details going on, so I don't think the value's there. This is actually more expensive than that TVC like Jabba throne room that comes with Fat
Mm-hmm.
Bib Fortuna, and that thing had a like legitimately I think it has like 40 accessories, like little pieces and all kinds of like goblets and barbecues and stuff, and like it's less money than this. Crazier paint job, comes with more stuff, and comes with figures.
To also note, I think this was the price. I know for certain it was the price of the movie version of that street diorama we saw that it attaches to.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was $150
and
for a
it's double the size.
tier. Yeah, for triple tier
Yeah,
diorama for your figures with a cardboard backing thing that had two things. You could flip it for a day and night version, and that was 150. And that's why I think people were expecting a better price on this, because NECA generally delivers with a pretty good price on like kind of complex diorama style. They had I wish I could remember the one for the turtles that had the teleportation wall or door. They did a teleportation door, and that was I have to find it, but yeah, sorry, Ramen Toy is the other one that's doing the sewer layer.
I've heard of them before.
okay.
Yeah.
And then the last one is the Chopper. Reissue, like you guys said, basically everything. But did y'all say they labeled it different or they didn't label
No,
it different?
it's actually the same,
box.
which is a box that came out like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. So I'm almost surprised they didn't just slap the Ahsoka show label on it for the sake of doing it, because that's what they did with her figure. So I don't know, that's cool. But I'll give it a B plus just because it's a solid figure for what it is. You're getting a little less than you normally do for a Black Series figure in terms of articulation and the work they had to do. They try to make up for it with the little flame effect, but the main thing is that it's a great character and it's like a pretty good interpretation. So B plus.
Go ahead, Bedfish.
I'd say A minus, just because I have this thing, and you can put it in some really fun poses. You can get his arms out waving, and you can get him like kind of looking like he's like running forward on his wheel. As you can see, this little extra accessory adds to that. Cool character, and they're. I don't want to say this. I sometimes hate giving Hasbro props, but they're sort of appeasing the people because I know people wanted this again. But yeah.
I was also going to give it a B plus. I think it's a second chance offer for someone who missed it, but I also feel like the fans who are into Chopper and Rebels and Clone Wars and all these other like non-Disney, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say non-Disney, but like just like non-movie style films and entertainment are hardcore. So if you didn't get this at the start, then I feel like you deserve a B plus and just in general on this. I do actually really like the character from what when I've seen a couple of the episodes. I like it's a different take on a droid. I definitely like how he's like wider and stuff like that, but that's just kind of the droid. I think with having to do a re-release and you're getting the exact same thing that you got before as a solid B plus.
Yeah, fair enough, man. It's just, he made a reappearance in live action, and it's telling that the design consistency is such that it's close enough to how he showed up on the show, even though this figure came out 4 years ago. That's pretty wild.
And it's good weathering too. I love the weathering on him too.
All right, guys. So again, we got our 3,000 subscriber giveaway. Make sure that you follow those instructions. Go to Collector's Own Cantina, like their Facebook page, Collecting Weekly and Auxiliary, YouTube and Facebook. And then for those bonus entries, make sure you go to the Ben Thomas Show and the 16 Fix, Marco and Ben's YouTubes to get the bonus entries. And guys, really quickly, let's do our bonus code for the night. Bonus code is
Oh, you want me to pick it? You good? You got something?
What do we got?
Oh man. All right, let's go with your favorite B plus figure. Let's go with Chopper.
Ooh, love it. Bonus code Chopper.
Cool, man.
So make sure you enter that, guys. We are 10 away. Help us get to 3,000. Try to win this this awesome Hot Toys Carnage. And then of course we have our giveaway that we're doing for our 100. Of course not next week, but the following week. Subscribe to Collecting Weekly on YouTube. Follow our new Small Talk CW Instagram, and then comment on the Instagram post that you'll find on there. And again, for those of you who were worried that we completely got rid of clips, although we did migrate it to Small Talk, all the clips are still there, so you can still go there and enjoy those funniest moments of CW and all its hosts. And then again, go to our new page and let's start posting some figure pictures. Let's get some activity on there, have some fun with it. Chris, you want to add anything with that?
Yeah, the main thing here is this is a nice and desirable Droids Boba Fett, and the Spider-Man 2 game version very generously provided by the Ox Father. So, these are a pair of really cool figures. Get into it. Please go over to the Instagram and follow it and comment on this giveaway post to enter, and I'll round up all the entries from there for episode 100. And it's like Sean was saying earlier in the show, if we want to feature some community content on there. So if you're posting your small scale stuff, go ahead and tag the page, and we'd love to share some of your content.
And I apologize for my poor typing skills, but it is going to be chopper, not copper. So let's make sure we get that right when we put in the bonus code. And if you don't, it's fine. We can make fun of me later.
Well, you got to be watching till the end to make sure you get the correct spelling, or you lose out on your
Exactly.
bonus entry.
Yep, that's it. And then, of course, OFAC has got their Carnage, their SH Figuarts Carnage. Also, another awesome figure. I've seen this in person too. It's legit. But for theirs, you need to be there. Make sure you are there next week for for episode 100. They got some cool stuff coming. And again, the time is a little odd, but you know what? They deserve a lot of support. So if you have the chance to even catch a snippet of it, just go in there and watch them for a few minutes. Congratulate them on 100. And we would love to shout out our 3 pillars, starting with Ian Seaby, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louie, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Gun Figs, Badfish, Toy Cartel, Dan Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Krant, Big Fern, Cesar Mato Keen, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomatsky, Rick DiGregorio, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, Illustrious Rainer, Alad Morgan, Takathri, Hua, Derek B, Arias Portillo, Alvin J, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clavenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Matan, Stephen Purchase, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Luis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. And your July, August benefits were the ZW sticker and our new Small Talk sticker. Again, thank you to all the people who helped make that possible. And if you want to become part of the Empire, you can start off with the hot seat, where you will get all the digital benefits like Ox After Dark and the Patreon chat and weekly shoutouts. Sweet Angel for $7.50. This is going to get you all the previous tier and the stickers sent straight to your door, as well as Ox After Dark replay. Stickers will be sent every other month. We have Certified Crispy for $15. You get all the previous benefits, including a Certified Crispy certificate on first pledge, assistance with figure fixes by Zach. Please message him beforehand, as he is very busy right now, and international postage will be charged at cost for the certificate. And then our final one is the What a Guy for $25. This is going to get you a Pog Deluxe set on first pledge, double of all the stickers we send, and then benefits of the previous tiers. International postage above $5 will be charged at cost for the Pogs, and stickers will be sent every other month. Guys, we appreciate you guys so much. Become part of the Empire. It's fun up here. While we might live in a steel circular death trap, we promise we won't blow up your planet.
Get it, guys? Toronto's seen Star Wars.
Excuse me. And then we have our YouTube members, starting with Absolute Erwin, Alvin J, Andreas IB, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Hansen, Big Ol' Fern, Blurred Dad Life, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, Cram, CT603, DJ, Daminator, Dante's Boneyard, Eclectic Collector, Equan, Fat Batman, Garbear, Gotham Cinnabites, Jake, Just Another Friday Nights, Justin Sports Cards, KJ Smith, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Money Mendez, Mr. Mom Collectibles, Knight, OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 16 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Full, S Beam, Sam Gist, Slifer, SpongeBob SquareBalls, which he's been making quite a few appearances on the shows. And he's awesome. I love how he just kind of talks and it just sounds amazing, you know.
He's a fun guy, man. But I mean, SpongeBob, the account name is just, you can't mess with that. That's very good stuff.
And then go ahead.
Did you hear how he came up with that name?
No, how did he do it?
So I was watching. I think it was on Ben Thomas. He told the story, and he's got that. He's got a great voice. It's almost like that
He said
radio
he's a
DJ at night.
therapist.
Is he? Okay. I was
I
gonna
heard
say
it.
it reminds
I
me of like
thought he
radio
was on
DJ or
After
something.
Dark, and he was saying he was like a therapist or something like that.
I didn't. I missed that. I'm way behind on After Dark because they were talking Mando spoilers, and I wasn't watching it then. But someone had the name Journey to the Center of My Balls, and they read Justin's collection read that name on the show, and he was like, "How do I get him to say a funny name?" And that was the inspiration here.
Wow.
That is awesome. And we have Sunnyvale, Ben Thomas Show, Toy Cartel, and Zeke. Guys, thank you for being part of our YouTube channel. And then for the Patreonies, it's a 99-cent fee for the loyalty badges, and then Peanut Gallery is $2.99. And then we have all of our shows, starting with our Monday show, Collecting Weekly Unboxing, followed by the main show on Tuesdays with Collecting Weekly, After Dark on Wednesdays, and then Small Talk and OFAC Thursdays. Again, OFAC will be next week. Please go watch their show, episode 100. Big congratulations to those guys. And then us in a couple of weeks with our 100. And then Just Another Friday Nights, they've been taking over our Fridays for us, and make sure you go check them out and give them some love. They've been doing some really, really great work. And then Live and Let Dice, Brick and Brews, and Ox PD. And I think they said it's Live and Let Dice this week, Badfish.
Oh yeah. We got a game coming up on Saturday, and yeah, it should be a fun one. It's going to be an interesting one. They teased there's an assassination.
Ooh, attempt or
We'll see how it
official?
goes. And then Ox PD, we've just been trying to figure out when we can make it work. But yeah, I'm itching to get back to do some Ox PD. I miss being some funny characters. So.
I know Steve really enjoys watching that as well. Guys, shout outs, anything.
Yeah, go ahead and check out the Vintage Rebellion podcast because, like I think I mentioned on our last episode, I've got some new content coming up over there from an event I held here in Toronto featuring some of the guys who worked on the Star Wars Holiday Special and Droids and Ewoks cartoons. It's a wild panel of 80s shenanigans that would not fly in an office in the current year. So that's fun to check out. And then, if you want to hear me complain and comment on Ahsoka with some of my other buddies, you can check out a podcast called Knights of Vader, where I'm on there for a couple hours talking about Ahsoka, which was a fun time. So that's it for me.
What do you got, Badfish?
Just what I mentioned, I guess already. Live and Let Dice. And the Ox PD stuff. And then actually, I've been, like I mentioned there just a minute ago, Ben Thomas. I've been watching his Let's Get Nuts stuff. It's a cool show format and doesn't just talk about figures. He'll do some pop culture stuff. And yeah, he's got some fun guests, including SpongeBob is often on there. So, and our OFAC counterpart, Pete. So
yeah, it's a great show.
It's a fun show. I would suggest anyone who... it's a bunch of episodes to catch up on.
All right, guys. Thank you to the chat. Thank you for everybody who was watching live, everybody who popped in. I'm sure we'll get plenty of audio listeners, so we appreciate you guys too. Although we don't really hear too much from you, you guys really help us with boosting our podcast as well. Go check out OFAC next week, episode 100, and go check out Just Another Friday Nights. They got a good one for y'all every Friday night, so go watch them tomorrow.
And be here in 2 weeks for our episode 100.
Exactly.
Yep. Next time we'll see you, we'll be 100 episodes, guys. 100 episodes. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.